Well, hello! Sorry, I have to kind of like pre-game this video with a little clip here. Long story short, I had some technical difficulties, broke some stuff in my laptop, had to use my wife's computer to transfer files from an SD card to a USB, and then from the USB into my laptop so I could edit this video. Somehow the files got like corrupted, and I only have like half the footage. So if it was like a 10 minute long clip, it's now like 5 or 6 minutes. So it just like randomly cuts off in certain spots. But I'm using what I've got to make this video. I'm sorry. I mean, like, I honestly didn't even know that's what happened. I mean, I was having trouble getting the files to transfer to my wife's computer. But when I would click on them, they would play fine. I just didn't check all the way down the clip like I probably should have. But regardless, here's the video. I hope you guys like what I've got. It's going to be a little bit of a series. This is far in the future from this video. I'm like already on like part 4 of the video. So yeah, but again, sorry about that. Hope you like what I've got though. And yeah, keep watching. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks. Well, hey everybody. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and a good New Year. We're back in the garage now. I've actually had a couple issues trying to film some videos. I filmed the video where I pressure washed the front end of the car and pressure washed the front suspension parts on the car. And some of the footage is messed up. I still have some of the footage, but I don't even think I'm gonna include it in this video. But regardless, it's been pressure washed, and the front suspension parts have also been pressure washed. And I took out the lower ball joints and stuff like that out of the front lower control arms. So those are pretty much in the process of where I need to basically rebuild all the front suspension. I need to take apart, replace bearings and bushings, and replace ball joints and some hardware, things like that. We're at that point with the car. That kind of all needs to happen so I can weld in the strengthening plates. Jesus, can't think. Welding the plates on the bottom of the lower control arms and on the sides of the upper control arms. So just give it a little bit more rigidity, a little bit more strength. We're gonna do that, but in order to do that the way that I wanna do it, I need to use my drill press. And my drill press does work, but you can see it in the background right here. It does work, but I wanna go through it, and I want to clean it up and repaint it and basically get it in perfect order so I just don't have to worry about it ever again. So in the next couple of videos, that's what we're gonna do. We're going to take apart the drill press, restore it and put it all back together, and get it working perfect again. So that's what we're gonna be doing here in the next couple of videos. One moment, I have some parts for it, hang on. All right, so the drill press, when I got it, like I said, was in perfect working order. It was basically ready to go. I plugged it in, fired it up, everything's great. I actually drilled a couple holes with it already and it was fine. But like I said, I like all the old equipment because you're buying a piece of equipment that's worked for so long and is built super rigid and heavy. And yes, they need some work and some cleaning up and stuff normally when you buy them, but to me it's worth it because you end up with a really good piece of machinery that you're gonna have forever. So that's why I like buying this old stuff like this. But one thing about the drill press is, on a drill press normally there's a quill stop, and mine didn't have it when I bought it. So I was a little bummed out about that, but it was such a good deal that I just had to buy it anyway. So I bought that a while back now. And so I follow a couple of pages on Facebook, and I reached out to one of the pages, which I believe is like Machining YouTube Facebook page or something like that. And I reached out, just made a post, and a guy actually reached out to me about the quill stop, and I was able to talk to him about it, and he sent out the quill stop and the thread for it. which is awesome. Like that's one of those benefits about having the internet nowadays, is that you can kind of reach out to people, and when they've got parts for the stuff that you need, they're normally willing to help you out. And he helped me out pretty big on this setup. So this is going to be part of the restoration as well. Like I said, it mounts to the spindle on the quill, or the spindle on the drill press, and this is the threaded part that goes next to it and gives you basically a depth stop on your drill press. So we're gonna restore that. And then on the drill press, basically from the factory comes this chuck right here. I don't know if you can see or not, but it is a Jacobs chuck. It says it on there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hang on. I don't know if you can see it on there. Might not even be showing it to you. It's right about there somewhere. But it is a Jacobs chuck. It's a little bit small for what I would use. It's basically, says it's a 1/2 inch, like that it goes up to a 1/2 inch, but number one, it's like gummed up and like gross. I mean, I could probably clean it up and get it right again, but it's pretty nasty. And when I did put a 1/2 inch drill bit in this chuck when I first got it, just to make sure that I could go up to a 1/2 inch shank at least. And it took the drill bit, but it did not have the strength it seemed to hold on to that 1/2 inch drill bit. So naturally I wanted to upgrade it. I asked the same page if anybody had any of these, and the same guy that had the quill stop, I believe his name was Mark Monson. If you are watching this, thank you again. I really appreciate it. But he said he did have one, but it was an adapter. It had an adapter for a Morris taper down to a J33 taper. And I didn't really want to do that. It kind of adds a lot of length to, at least that's what I would think, just thinking in my head, that it would add some length to the quill. And I don't really know if I want to do that, because I feel like I'd lose rigidity down at the end of, again, it's a drill press. It's not like I need it to be absolutely perfect, but I'd like it to be as close as possible. So I just decided not to go with that. He did offer it to me, but I decided not to go with that. Instead, I bought a cheapo off the internet. I got it here. And this is just like a knockoff replica of a keyless, and this goes up to 5/8. So this should be perfect for what I need it for. Like I said, it's brand new. I bought this a while back, but I finally got it in the mail. And so it's a keyless chuck. That is what's gonna go on there. It is a J33 taper. The taper on the spindle does have a little bit of a burr on it. I think what we're gonna do is hit it with the wire wheel and try to clean up all the gunk and crap on it, and then hit it lightly with a file, and then we'll fit it. It should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. If I need to, I'll replace it. But I feel like trying to find it is going to be the problem. But this is what we've got going on. This is what we're going to be starting. I know not most, but some people want to see me working on the car, which I need this tool in order to work on the car. So we're gonna get into this. I think we're gonna do a little bit of disassembly today. I've already started doing some disassembly, so maybe I'll bring some of the parts over and show you that I've disassembled them. And then after that, we're gonna set up. I think I'm gonna lay this down on some jack stands and take it all apart. The bottom should come off of the main post, and the top should come off the main post. And then we're gonna try and polish that back, and et cetera, et cetera. You'll see the whole situation, but let me get the parts that I've already taken off of it, because I have cleaned up some of them, show them to you guys, then we'll get into tearing the rest of that thing down. Now for me, this is gonna be the real test of this microphone. It is kind of I guess they call it omnidirectional microphone, so I don't know if it's gonna pick me up really well back here, but hopefully it does. But yeah, so this is the drill press. From my understanding, this is a mid-70s Delta Rockwell. You can see the little peace sign logo thing that they have up there. And here is the side plate right here with the serial number and everything like that. from my understanding, just looking at it and looking it up online and through the catalogs that people have listed online, this is a mid-70s model. I believe it's half horsepower, runs on 110, which is great for me. Motor works great, everything works great. The only thing you can see is that it's pretty ugly. There's some rust on it, and you can see the base of it is absolutely disaster. Right here, the work table is also kind of dirty, but for the most part, it's perfectly functional. I mean, honestly, I could just shove this thing in the corner and plug it in and run it, and it would be fine. But that's not what I want to do. I want it to be awesome. So we're gonna make it awesome, and yeah. So let's get into the teardown. Like I said, I'm gonna tilt it over onto some jack stands, and hopefully that's safe. Kind of doesn't sound safe in my head now. It might tilt over or something, but I don't know. Let's just try it out and go from there. Probably not the best shot. There we go. All right, I'm bringing you guys over here because I wanted to show you guys the wiring. It's pretty fried. I think I'm gonna rewire the whole thing probably. The motor worked perfect, but this wiring is just, I mean, you can see it's frayed right in the middle of it. I could probably just break this off if I wanted to. Almost all the wires are like this. And then if this causes a short or something while it's plugged in, I mean, we're looking at some pretty bad news. But with that being said, there is a possibility I might just replace this switch. It's a good switch, it's just that it's old, I guess. But it's really not all that bad. It's just, I don't know, I just think I'm gonna rewire the whole thing. It's probably just gonna be easier for me to just rewire it. Probably put a whole new cable on it if I can. I would think I can just get a cable. Yeah. Well, why wouldn't we be able to? But I'll just get a new cable and rewire the whole thing. I don't know about the wiring coming out of the motor. I would assume that this is probably all fine. But I think what I will do is probably pop this bottom cover off, see what the wiring looks like. Once we get the motor onto the bench, we can pop that back cover off, see what the wiring looks like back here, and we'll probably just put new sheathing on it. I've got some of that really nice expandable loom, so maybe we'll do the whole thing in expandable loom. We'll run all the expandable loom up into the front here, and then I do have switches looking in the wrong place here. So I've got all this heat shrink for building wiring harnesses in cars, and I've got some expandable looming back there. Just realized I had music blaring in the last clip, but I turned it down a little bit. Hopefully you can't hear it and I don't get in trouble for it, but I really like Stevie Ray Vaughan, so that's what I want to listen to. I'm just gonna cut these, man. I'm just gonna cut them. These wires are just absolutely demolished, so we're just gonna cut them because I'm gonna have to replace them. So just cut them down at the ends here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but hold on, focus, there we go. So it says 3/4 horsepower and 250 volts. I honestly think that one that I just put away is only rated to 14 volts. It's a car switch, so it's like I didn't expect it to be the right switch, but that's all right. I mean, we can use this one. It's not that I hate it, it's just that I figured I might as well replace it because I have switches, but clearly I don't have good enough switches. So we'll just use this one. It did work. We'll just rewire it the way it came off and it should be good. Ooh, don't want to do that. It does have a P-clip in here. Should probably take off. Little P-clip holding the wiring on the inside of the body. I mean, it should pop right off. Yeah, it's coming right off. All good there. All right, it's actually pretty simple. I found it like as soon as I shut the camera off, but there's a little hole. I don't know if you can see it in here. There's a little hole in this this pulley, so you just slide an Allen wrench through there and break it loose. So that is what we're going to do. There it is. That goes with that. This does have some wobble to it. No, maybe it does tighten up in there. Interesting. Okay. It's another reason why I love old stuff like this is if you can read it on the inside of that thing. Made in United States. That's pretty sweet. I mean, nothing to knock on some of the Chinese tools because I buy them every now and again, but when you get something that's made in the States and it's this old and it's still working perfectly, I mean, it basically goes to show you that we make pretty good stuff over here. So it's always good to have a made in the States, especially old tools like this. All right, now I think we're ready to pop this part of the lid off, and then we can take the whole head off. And then I think we're going to tilt it over and get the bottom off, get this table off, and then we should be ready to go, ready to do some things. So let's do that real quick. One weird thing my dad's always had me keep in the toolbox is old toothbrushes. I mean, these things are super old and super greasy, but they come in handy for a lot of different things. Like there's things caked with dirt up here, so I just brush it off. You don't need anything crazy, but comes in handy. I also got a couple that I use for like cleaning off wax off of the car. You know, you put a little bit of wax on the car and sometimes get some buildup in the cracks, and you end up with basically dried up white, you know, wax all over your car. So, toothbrush. Not so pro tip. And then we're gonna give it a little splits, a little spurts. Little spurtsy skirtses. Will that help? Probably not. I think it's time to put this thing down on the jack stands and whatever. I guess we'll try and figure it out from there because this thing's pretty on there. The base of this thing is pretty messed up. This is probably going to need, the base of this is probably going to need the most work when it comes to cleaning it up and getting it nice again. There's like kind of a polished surface right here. Even that is pretty messed up. So we're going to probably spend the most time on this and on the actual post, getting it nice and shiny again. But the post shouldn't be that bad. It's honestly just some surface rust. We're gonna try and hit this with just red Scotch-Brite and some PB Blaster. See if we can get it to polish back. And then this we're gonna hit with the wire wheel and really try and get this thing come clean. The bottom of it is quite a disaster. So anyway, I gotta try and get this base off. It's going to be really head heavy after I do that, so it is most likely going to just fall or something, but you know, we'll deal with that issue when it comes about. Oh man, this is sketchy. So sketchy. All right, so I'm holding my big, I'm holding the big tripod here, so this is a little awkward. But gonna try and show you what the inside of this freaking thing looks like. Basically, the light. Basically, as you can see, this is held on with like a U-bolt. You know, it is a U-bolt, but you can see how absolutely gross the bottom of this thing is. We're gonna try and get this as clean as possible. The bottom I'll probably just maybe spray and like some sort of rubberized black. I do think I have some Plasti Dip or something, so maybe I'll just spray it with like a matte black or whatever I've got, and then we'll just cover it in that Plasti Dip on the bottom, and just to try and cover up some of this rust. I'm not trying to make the bottom of it perfect, but the top of it I definitely want to make as best I can. But it's pretty good and seized up on here, so we're gonna try and maybe wiggle it back and forth to get this U-bolt completely off, and then once the U-bolt is completely off, we should be able to maybe try and wiggle this back and forth and bang it off. But I am a little worried. Sometimes if you get a little too rowdy on cast iron, you could break it, especially old stuff. But we're going to give it hell. I've really soaked it down with PB Blaster, as you could probably tell. I'm actually going to spray a little bit more here in just a second. But yeah, that should be enough PB Blaster. We'll let it sit maybe for a little bit and then get this U-bolt off, like I said, and then we'll bang on it, see if we can get it to come off. Let's back this bad daddy up, see if we can get a couple smacks on it. Sorry, the memory card on the camera just filled up on me, so I don't even remember where I was at in the middle of that last shot. So we're just gonna get back into it, I guess. So as of right now, it's still sitting on the jack stands, but it the head is pretty knocked loose. So I'm gonna see if I can try and get that off really quick. And I'm also gonna spray a little bit more PB Blaster on the front of the base and see if I can get that to free up. I have something in my eyeball. It's probably rust. Anyway, I'm gonna spray a little bit more PB Blaster on the base, and I think we'll be golden after that. Be pretty golden after that. So yeah, let's try and do that really quick. Not sure if this is a great angle or anything, but you can see that the head of this thing moves free now. It still won't come off this end, but it is moving free now. So that is a good sign. I think if we clean this up with some PB Blaster and maybe a Scotch-Brite, we can get that to come off. So I'm gonna spray some PB Blaster on there. And also down here. There's lots of PB Blaster everywhere. PB Blaster works great. Lots and lots of PB Blaster. Now, I did buy some Scotch-Brite pads, but I prefer not to use the ones I've got here. Because I bought them for welding. There's like a 3 and 1 red aggressive pad. I don't even know if I've got it underneath that thing. So, you can use one of these green pads, Scotch-Brite pads. This will actually give me a little bit of an idea on how well. I'm gonna try and gee, this angle's awful. I'm gonna try and bust this thing off with the camera off. So I'm gonna come back here in just a second. All right, so I decided off camera that I was just gonna knock that out really quick. I did not knock it out really quick. It took me quite a while to get that stuff off there. That post was pretty rusted in the areas where the head and the base needed to come off. So it took me quite a bit to get it off the post, get the base and the head off the post. So it took me quite a while. I'm glad I kind of did it off camera, because if not, it would have taken me forever and it would have just been a lot of footage for me to cut through. But the whole thing is disassembled. We've got most of the parts sitting over here. We got the motor, all the hardware, one of the main pulleys, and the 2 caps. I don't really know what you would want to call these, but the hoods or whatever, those are there. And then the head is down there, completely disassembled. The post is right here. So originally I was thinking maybe I could just hit it with some PB Blaster and then basically run a Scotch-Brite over the whole thing and it would come clean, but I did that in a couple spots and it's not coming clean. So I think, hang on, I think what the plan is for that now, I'm gonna hit the whole thing with a wire wheel, knock off all that heavy rust, and then I'm gonna go over it and kind of polish it with one of those green Scotch-Brites, and then it should be perfect after that. But I have everything over here. The base is in here. It's underneath everything. I need to change out the liquid on this. The cleaner in here is pretty gummed up now. I honestly think I need to drain the whole thing and put some fresh stuff in there. The Simple Green really chewed up the paint in this thing, but it worked really well on the suspension parts over there on the bench. So anyway, it needs to be cleaned out. Obviously, it's starting to look pretty freaking nasty. But I'm gonna let everything soak in here, probably overnight, all the pieces in here, and then I'm gonna take them out scrub them really good, wash them off, and then we'll hit them with the wire wheel, start cleaning them up really well, polish the machine surfaces for them, like for the base and for the table of the drill press. So we'll do all that. Sorry, this takes me a second now because of the mic, but sorry, it's dark. Why is it dark? Stop being dark. There you go. But anyway, I think I'm gonna call this episode right here. I'm gonna take a quick look at some stuff first, and then we're gonna call it quits. I'm gonna try and make this into a little bit of a series, so it's probably gonna be like a 3-video series. I'm thinking disassembly for the one, the next one we'll clean everything up, and then the last one will be paint and assembly. I think that will be pretty good if we split it up that way, so that's what I think I'm gonna do. But again, the parts, all the parts are actually in really good condition. Probably my most excited part about this whole thing are these right here. These lids, they're in really good condition. I think with some hand sanding and then some good paint and primer on those are probably going to be the best pieces. And then obviously this cast head right here, it's going to look okay when it's done, but I think I'm going to really try and put some elbow grease into these and get them to be really nice paint. All right, well, like I said, I don't have any more footage. It cut off before I could end the footage. We'll pick it up in the second video. I really apologize. I mean, I honestly didn't want this to happen. I kind of explained it in the second part of this drill press series, but yeah, so my bad. But anyway, we're moving on. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Please remember to like and subscribe. Share these videos. I do love doing this type of stuff. I'm trying to like get ahead of myself and get like a bunch of videos filmed so that way I can start steadily uploading or like consistently uploading. So that's kind of where I've been. I kind of like put a bunch of videos out, but the problem was that I was filming videos and then editing them and then posting them and then going to film the next one. I need to kind of like get a couple out and like have a couple ready to edit while I'm filming new videos. And in order for me to catch up doing that, I kind of have to pause posting for a minute so I can catch up and kind of get ahead of myself a little bit. So anyway, sorry about that. Let's get back into it. Please stay tuned for the next video. Again, I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. We'll see you on the next one. Deuce, deuce. Peace.